You're watching News at Prime. Let's get into this discussion now. Daybreak Farms is facing mounting allegations of mismanagement, corruption and animal cruelty. Former majority shareholder company CEO Kholofelo Maponya is now accusing the Public Investment Corporation of having a hand in the poultry producers' collapse, which has since the company placed under business rescue. Maponya joins me in studio tonight to talk to us about his claims, particularly against the Public Investment Corporation. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you very much for your time. Let's first establish your relationship with Daybreak Farms. This is a company you once owned. When was that, and how did you lose it, or how were you removed from it?
Thank you and good evening, Mr. Mgambi, and good evening to the viewers. I'm always referred to as the former majority shareholder instead of actually being the chairman of the company that actually owned the company. And several organizations from the Department of Labor and the Government Employee Pension Fund took a stake in piggybacking on the ownership to get equity out of it, because they provided us with debenture loans. So they provided us with a very favorable financing terms.
Right.
We actually had the culture shock when we took over the first day of the company and the PIC came to run the company with us. And it became a very impossible task to run the company. We discovered many flaws that during the due diligence were not there. But through our experience from 1987 in the poultry industry, we were able to overcome them, but the funding covenants were never met. The company was clearly sabotaged from day one. Right. And I must categorically state that it was not necessarily a PIC decision. It was a decision by individuals within the PIC. And even now, with the current problems, this is 10 years ago. The reason we're coming out is because our reputation is linked to the company. And we were not properly taken out of the company. Right. Our shares were taken away in an illegal format. There was no legal process that was followed. We were worked out. We were told that PIC was going to get experts to assist us because we are BEs, so they got some assistants of color who had never seen chickens in their lives. And they said, you know the saying, "Upumlung wako." In this country, we have two BEs. We have a program called the Black Industrialists, which we are, and entrepreneurs.
Right.
And then there's this BE whereby a white man comes with you and says, "This is my BE partner. I'm going to give him some benefits. Give me money." And unfortunately, our government institutions or DFIs are structured to fund the deal where you bring someone and you give him a benefit and not the industrialist. And so we were not supported to run the company on our own. We were instead interfered with.
All right. You are a company which says it has over 40 years of experience in this particular industry. But, as you say, you were removed, illegally removed from Daybreak Farms by the PIC. How did this happen?
Well, I think the first question should be, why, as black economic empowerment companies that are supposed to be empowered, why are we always struggling and fighting? We raised our hands and we said Viva back in the day, and we're still struggling up to today. It happened systematically. By the time we woke up, it was done. There's something in law where if a case goes over 3 years, I think you're a legal person. They say lapses or something of the nature. And the only thing we could do was open a criminal case, which we did.
Yeah. And since the opening of that case, you have never
We have had four
ownership of the
other
company.
legal cases with them, which we managed to reach amicable settlement. We are still in the course of those settlements, and we are not even sure what is happening. But the biggest problem is that there's been such a high turnover of management also at the PIC as a large institution. You find that half of the people want to move forward, and there's another half or 20% that actually want to take people backwards.
Let me ask you this question, because you make very, very strong allegations against persons whom you describe as politically connected individuals who connived to remove MMI, this is your company, from Daybreak Farms. Are you able to tell us who these politically connected individuals are who colluded to get you removed?
For legal reasons, I think we have filed a report with the public protector. Those names would be in there. But there would be people in the executive, and there would also be people in the board. And even as we speak today, we have people who had committees in the board who, when you sign an agreement, they just wake up tomorrow and they say, you've been mentioned in a commission. And by the way, we had the party commission on the PIC, which a lot of people are not aware that came as a result of our whistleblowing. And we were not included in the mandate of the commission. So we submitted a very huge submission, and it could not be heard and it could not be read into the evidence. But certain people were allowed to make statements, and those statements were referred to in the final report about people who were not supposed to be covered by the commission. So we have a problem in this country whereby a lot of administrative processes are controlled by a certain sector of our economy and our society that have enjoyed privilege and benefits, and they police black empowerment and black wealth. And this is what we experienced from the commission. It took me almost 5 years to get a letter from the lead investigator from the commission to actually commit that they actually had no mandate to investigate our deals, and they also had no findings against us.
Right.
Even worse, we were cited. Our only citing in the commission report is that we did too many deals. And I asked a simple question. If today I brought a Vodacom deal to you, and it's an innovation of cell phone, and you funded it, and tomorrow I brought Google to you, are you going to say, don't come in, I don't want to fund you multiple deals? Or are you going to look at the opportunity and make money?
You're not willing to name names, but you say these are individuals that are politically connected. Are you at least willing to share which political party would have connived to essentially sully the reputation of a black entrepreneur?
Well, we have had one ruling party since 1994. We have had a little bit of a shake in the last election. You do the math.
And so the reason I ask you that question is based on yet another important issue that you raise. And that is that, and I want to quote directly from your statement, because you say, this raises serious concern that public institutions are undermining BBEE by discrediting black entrepreneurs as corrupt and incompetent. If left unchallenged, this behavior risks derailing economic transformation, job creation, and inclusive industrial growth. So, if it's the same ANC that came up with BEE laws, you're saying that it's the same ANC that is undermining black industrialists like yourself. Is there a future therefore? Are they being honest when they say they want to transform?
It is the same as
South
I
African
said with the PIC. It is individuals. It might be 20% or 10% or 5% of the individuals. The ANC has policies. I grew up with my family being members of it. I became a member of it also. It has good policies, but it also has people with different ideas and different agendas and vendettas. And what we are seeing is the alternative agenda carrying through. By the way, there are also other parties that might not be ruling parties that also promote the empowerment of black people. There are many white people that also promote the empowerment of black people. Actually, half of my business partners that I have had all my life have been white people.
Yeah.
And they have had good intentions of working with us, and we have been successful with them. The issue is not the name or the brand of the organization. It is the individuals that are within that organization, and perhaps the actual discipline within the organization to be able to police and manage those individuals.
We now know that the Daybreak Farms is under business rescue. There are criminal charges that have been preferred on the directors of Daybreak Farms because of the animal cruelty that has gone on there. What do you want now as a former majority shareholder, and what is your next step?
Well, we would want to see 3,400 jobs saved, because as we speak, we are speaking of business rescue, but actually everything has come to a halt. Those people have not been paid salaries. Those people are not sure of their future tomorrow. We would want to see another party or ourselves on a fair basis, because remember, we took a loan to buy the company. We would want to still, if we want to take the company back, we would want to get an evaluation done and our company given back to us. The PIC has no business running a poultry company.
Do you have the money to take back this company? It is under business rescue right now, or are you again going to look to the PIC for funding?
We do have access to the resources. Unfortunately, because of our various transactions with the PIC, those resources are also dependent on the PIC saying yes at a certain point, but they are not a loan, they are actually our own resources.
Thank you very much for your time. We are going to continue poking at this story because it's quite an interesting one, and the allegations that you make are quite startling, not only against the governing party of the day, or at least the former majority party of the day, but also against the PIC. And we have tried to invite the PIC on, of course, learning that you would be talking to us today, and they have yet to respond favorably on our request for comment. So we are going to keep this one going. Yes, sir.
To their credit, 80 to 90% of them were not there when everything started, but they were there when the collapse happened in this instance. And unfortunately, you know, when you are a fund manager and you're employed to run a fund, and then you inherit a farm and you're not a farmer, it's quite a cumbersome position to be in. I actually feel for the executive at the PIC.
Thank you very much for your time, Kholofelo Maponya. He is the owner of the very first majority shareholder at the Daybreak Farms. It's a very interesting development, and as I say, we are hoping that the PIC will take up the opportunity to respond to the allegations that have been leveled against them, and indeed, including the African National Congress.